I have it for the group. So, so I know like some of you are coaches and we moved our coach call to 4:30, and I'm just curious what everybody thinks about that for this call, if 4:30 would make a difference to anybody in a good or a bad way.
What is that Eastern Standard Time?
That would be 7:30.
I find it harder because I eat dinner late, but
Okay.
I'm not here consistently enough to really say.
And I'm not saying we have to, I'm just kind of throwing it out there. Like, cause I know some people want to be done. Hey, Kristen, I know some people want to be done like a little earlier. If you're later, but I don't, like Lily and I are both at 4:30. We haven't had dinner yet. We probably still have a couple meals left at this point. So
Yeah.
Were you saying move this meeting?
yeah, I'm just curious where everybody's at with it. And at 5 o'clock is still just fine. It looks like I have a conflict once a month, but it looks like we're going to be Zooming for that for a while. So the conflict is kind of irrelevant, but then it kind of got me thinking, just in times in general, if it mattered to anyone. So
I'm okay with it either way.
I'll leave it open. If nobody's really strong about it, then we'll just leave it at 5 and go from there.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I would say I can't always do the 8 o'clock either. So if you could do 7:30 and I really want it, I'll make it happen, sort of stuff. So whatever works really for you.
Okay. Well, we'll see. So think about it, mill it over a bit, and we can, if it seems like something we want to do, we can do it. So, yeah. Okay. Oh, this is so fun. Everybody, I'm so excited to have so many of you on here today.
The computer, I can see everybody at once too.
So we're going to take 2 different paths with our topic today. So our talk is when you're adding in a workout or activity, like, say you're adding in a 5-mile walk. This got me thinking because I was on my paddleboard for a couple hours on Tuesday, and I have like a little log thing that tells me how far I go and how fast I'm going. And it's really funny too, because you can see when the wind's hitting me, because then it turns like red because I'm practically stopped because the wind is preventing me from going very fast. But so I'm looking at this and it said I burned 436 calories. And so paddleboarding is not an everyday or even a consistent thing for me, right? That's just kind of a one-off. So sometimes though, in those situations where you have these one-off activities, like you've gone to an amusement park and you've walked all day, or, whatever it is, you have kind of a one-off activity. I think sometimes our mindset is, I just did this extra work, so I'm going to add in some extra food, right? Or it's a treat yourself moment because I just did all that extra work. So I wanted to talk about that just a little bit, because really you should just stick to your plan. Now, in the evening, you may notice you're more hungry and you may not. But the key is you're just kind of waiting to see. So on the chance that you've done this extra activity and you're like, whew, I am just starving today. Like I am burning through it. And, that can affect your sleep too, if you're going to bed super hungry. So add in a protein or add in a vegetable, add in both if you need to, and just test that out for that day. But otherwise, if you're getting through your day with the containers you already had allotted and things are moving along and you're having your meals and things are fine, then just leave it the way it is, right? Because at some point it all evens out. So how many, I know that this tends to be a really common self-sabotage, right? I did this, so now I can eat this. So how many people feel like they do that? Okay, yeah. All right, we got like half. So I wanted to kind of discuss that a little bit in ways of switching that mindset to just thinking the food isn't dependent on that extra, right? The treat isn't dependent. And this took me a long time to really just kind of separate those two things. If I really want the treat, then I should have and enjoy a treat. But it doesn't mean I have to double up my workout. It doesn't mean because I did an extra workout or I had extra activity that I then deserve that treat. I deserve the treat regardless, right? If I really am going to enjoy it. And that's the key, right? We've talked a lot about that on this call. It's about enjoying that moment or that circumstance and having that thing, but not having it be a filler or an emotional reaction. It's, you're going to have that treat because it's something you're looking forward to and you wanted to have it. So, so then the other pathway here is if you're consistently adding in exercise, right? So maybe, I know Kristen likes to run, and so sometimes she'll add in runs with her workouts. And if I'm ever running, somebody kill the thing that's chasing me, right? Because that's how I am with running, but you know what I'm saying. So, but if you're consistently adding in exercise, then you absolutely need to have a certain set of calories, reflecting that in your nutrition plan. So that may mean, depending on how much time that adds up over the week, that may mean going with the intense bracket. So meaning you add in 600 calories instead of 400 calories for the workout, like as if it's more than 45 minutes a day type. Or it may just mean adding in a protein and a veggie. So you're kind of just switching in between brackets a little bit as you're having those workouts. So that's one of those things where you kind of have to try it and see how you're feeling. You definitely shouldn't be feeling lower in your energy, lacking in sleep, feeling brain fog, those things, the things that we've talked about that lead to that kind of show you're not getting enough fuel. And so you want to make sure you're getting that fuel in with this extra activity. Or if you have a job that is just, you're always on the go. Like I know when we used to do the calculations for 21 Day Fix, it talked about like a construction worker would do their weight times 13 to get their calories. So now we would just put them in the intense segment as if they were working out 45 minutes a day type thing. So how many people are you like adding in consistent extra work, do you feel like? Maybe different than your bracket, or have you changed your calculation to add in?
I think for me, it depends on the time of year. Because there are times that I'm able to go for an extra walk with the dog, or hop on the bike, or whatever it is, or go hiking a little bit more with the family, whatever the case may be. And that's not happening now just because work is so busy. So I'm like pushing my morning workout and that's it. Like, okay, gotta go. So.
Yeah.
But I do find that on the weekends, and this is a little bit of a reverse of what you were saying, if I kind of know that I want to have some fun or whatever, I'll do extra workout. It's a little backwards, but the same idea.
Yeah, and I think you would actually be, well, it depends on the extra workout. You don't want to overtrain because that's not going to help. But if you add in what's like an extra walk or yoga or something that's a calorie burn, but not an intense, like not an extra weight session, right. Things like that, then that's different, right? Adding in 2 weight sessions together is not going to like get you closer to the goal. I know a lot of people feel like for weight loss, if they double up, then they're going to lose weight faster. And that's really just not how it works, because then you're also uneven in what you're eating plus what you're burning, and your body's trying to recover from the muscle you're tearing, right? And so you're sending it into this kind of stressed mode, and then it has a hard time recovering from that. So you want everything to be a little more copacetic and to feel like it has a chance to recover. Marabella, is that you? I'm gonna mute you real quick. I don't know okay. Perfect. So does that make sense? So like hiking, walks, those are all like a steady calorie burn, and those are awesome for like adding in movement through your day. Those burn a lot of calories and they add up.
Mm-hmm. Mine is more specifically this past summer was the bike, because I realized once I got the bike how weak my thighs were. So then I was like, I need to do this more to build those better. And so that's where I was. Now I'm back down to weak thighs. So yeah. You really
I
have to
think
be
I'm gonna have
consistent with
weak
the bike.
thighs when my bike gets here too. I don't know.
Oh, you will learn. It is shocking.
I
Well, on
do.
the 21st, you can do your bike classes. So
Great. I do have the padded shorts though. I'm looking forward to that. Maybe I'll get an
Yeah.
extra pad for the bike. I don't know.
You can get a padded seat too. I've got that.
I think I'll need it all. I'm gonna take it all. Yeah. I'll just sit on a donut or whatever.
we're all going to be sore for the first week.
Right.
I really
Or
thought
two.
it would be really bad. That's why I like hated the bike. But the mixed bike I got it right before the Beachbody one came out. So it's kind of annoying, but the seat's fine. Like I thought for sure I was going to be like, oh my God, this is miserable. I hate the bike, but it's really not bad.
It's all good. Okay, good.
I don't
Good to know.
think they allow you to sit long enough for it to matter.
That's probably true, right? You're like up and down.
Yeah.
Well, good. So does anybody have any specific questions regarding kind of either of these pathways or, how you feel about your exercise and your extra eating?
Is there a certain amount of exercise that you should do? Like I take Duke for a meander walk. It's not a walk. He likes to sniff like every 5 feet. And so it might take us a half an hour to go 1 mile. So
Yeah.
I never count that as extra exercise.
I wouldn't.
Because
Yeah.
it doesn't get my heart rate up at all. So I never count it as extra, even though I might get the steps from it, but I don't actually feel like it's doing anything extra for me, like an additional workout.
Yeah. So that's considered a NEAT, non-exercise. I can never remember the A, thermogenesis. So it is basically you're still burning calories, but you're not at an intense level. This isn't like considered exercise, it's movement, right? So
Now, is that true because Lily is who Lily is and being such a hardcore workouter? Because I never walk, right? Because I'm at a desk all day. So when I bring the dog like literally up and down the road for a half a mile, I'm like, woohoo, I did something. You know
yeah,
what I mean? Like it's such a
I don't
different
count
variant.
dog walks as exercise, if I'm being honest. I don't count walking as
Okay.
exercise unless you're
All right,
really
all right,
like you're in
fine.
it. You know what I'm saying? It is movement and it helps. And it is part of that. It can be up to 30% of your calorie burn. But it is just movement. It's like doing the laundry or dishes or just moving your body through doing things.
But I think if you're going to power walk, like if you're going to get your heart rate up and you're going to like move your arms, that's different than just strolling and, meandering around. There's a big difference in the level of walking that you can do.
100%. Like once a week, I walk with my friend. We go to get coffee. It's a 5-mile round trip. I can hardly talk. We're walking so fast, and that would be considered a workout because I'm sweating. I can hardly talk. I'm like we are up and down hills, and the pace is such that it would be considered an extra workout.
Oh.
But like me taking my dog, she doesn't know what she's doing yet. She sounds like Duke, where we got to, smell everything. We got to look at everything. Sometimes I have to carry her because she's done walking. So we're really
Then
not
it's
good at it yet.
Oh, I'm glad Duke is not done walking because there's no way.
Yeah. Well, she's only 30 pounds right now. So yeah.
That's more doable.
But it's definitely so when you're figuring out if you're actually adding in the extra workouts, and I would take your total workout time and start dividing it, right? So like the workouts you're pushing play on Beachbody plus other intense heart rate up workouts you're doing, and see how many minutes that adds up to a day. It should be, I believe the calculation is 5 or 6 days at 45 minutes. I can't remember if it's 6 days or 5 days to get that intense.
Does that count both like weightlifting and cardio?
Yeah, because you have a mix of that through your day or through your week anyway, because not every day is a lifting day.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering, is there a certain time for weightlifting and a certain time for?
Not really, because weightlifting
anything
takes a different
45
amount of
minutes to do.
time. Yeah, cardio workouts are generally a little shorter than weight workouts anyway, because weights usually take a little more time. But I mean, the goal is that 30 minutes, 5 to 6 days a week is like a,
No matter what it is. as
Yeah.
long as it's something, okay.
Yeah.
Now, in the 21-day fix on Sunday, they have yoga.
Mhm.
Is that considered exercise?
So that's an active recovery day. So that would be more like a movement day. Now if you're new to exercise, you could have an elevated heart rate and it could feel like a workout, and that's okay, right? Then when you're newer to exercise, you are going to be burning way more calories than someone who has been exercising for quite a long time because everything burns more at that point because it's new. And your body is working harder to figure it all out. So as we get into it, like we have a mobility and stability workout with our 645 program. It's 45 minutes of stretching. It's pretty rare that you get your heart rate up enough to consider that one like a full workout. It's an active recovery day. So you're active, you're moving, everything's kind of loosening up, but you're not necessarily, in a calorie burn zone or, things like that where you're elevated heart rate.
Now, is it good to have active recovery days?
Yes.
And a total rest day?
Yes, I think so. I fully rest on my rest days generally. And I think it really depends on how intense some of your other workouts are too, because that full rest day, I think if you have weightlifting and you're lifting heavy, that full rest day can be really useful as well as the active recovery, right? Because the active recoveries help through your soreness as you're working through it. But if you're at more of a medium level, then working out every day, plus, like not having a total rest day may just be fine too. Just having active recovery days may feel good. I'm trying to think, when I was doing MBF, I remember like after that 6 weeks, I was like, wow, I need like a couple days to just chill because it was so intense, and the 6 days were intense, and the 7th day was an active recovery day, but I found like that wasn't enough for me. So the next time I did it, I actually added in an additional rest day when I did it, because with my body, I was just like, I'm so sore, and it's like, it just feels like I'm worked too hard on this one. So you really have to go by how you feel.
If you notice in the 21-day fix on day 15 to 21, they put in 2 workouts a day.
Yeah.
I did it in the first round.
Yeah. So that's kind of a goal too, to like, it's to add in a little extra calorie burn to, see results by the end of your 21 days. So any other questions about any of this topic? Are we good? I'm irritated with Lily because now I got those mangoes at Costco and those stupid things. Had my hand in that bag today.
Oh, are they the dried fruits that you were
Yes,
talking about?
yes. And there's totally there's a bunch of added sugar in it. I didn't even.
Oh, you gotta get the ones with no sugar.
No, there was just one bag.
Oh, they have 2 different kinds.
I better look.
Yeah, don't buy the ones with.
I got them for Jack for his lunch, and then I'm like, oh, let's just see what these taste like. And now I'm like, oh my God, these are really good.
Yeah, don't buy the ones with extra sugar.
Okay, I'll look for the non-sugar ones.
Yeah. And Trader
Mango
Joe's
already has like a ton, doesn't it?
Yes.
Well, it's pretty sweet.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like one of the sugariest fruits that you can get.
Yeah.
I don't see why they add sugar to it, but whatever. They add sugar to everything.
Yeah. Exactly. So yeah, so does anybody have any labels they want to talk about today?
I do.
All right, what'd you bring?
So I didn't bring it outside with me, but I just pulled it off the internet.
Okay.
I don't know if you'll be able to see it. Hang on. So
you can just read it. I don't know if we're gonna.
Can you see the ingredients? No, you can't see it. All right, I'll just read it to you. So it's milk protein blend, which is casein, whey protein concentrate. Sweetener blend is allulose monk fruit extract. And then there's an oil blend, high oleic sunflower seed avocado oil, tapioca starch, natural flavor. Okay, so it's not something natural, so you don't want to eat it all the time. But it's got 7 grams of fat, 140 calories, 10 milligrams of cholesterol, 150 sodium, 15 carbs, 2 dietary fibers, and 12 proteins. What would you call that on the scale of containers?
What is it?
I want to see what she calls it first.
Well, hang on. So allulose is a fake sugar.
Mhm.
If I remember right, I had to look this one up the other day because I hadn't seen it before.
It's a
Bev,
sugar
you know
alcohol.
what'd you say?
Yeah,
Well,
it's-
the
it's a
blend is
sugar alcohol.
allulose and monk fruit extract, which
Yeah,
monk
so
fruit I know.
The
is good.
allulose then takes it off the table as a useful containerized item.
Just that tiny little bit, huh?
Yeah, no artificial sugars.
Okay. It says adds a trivial amount of sugar, the allulose.
Well, they still put it in there for something.
Yeah.
What is it that
It's cereal.
oh, it's cereal.
It's called Magic Spoon.
Magic spoon?
That's supposed to mimic all the flavors that the kids like. So I got Cinnamon Toast Crunch, and they look like Cheerios, but they taste, I would think, like Cinnamon Toast Crunch. They don't taste bad, but I thought with all that protein, dietary fiber, it wasn't like terrible. So I was like, ah, good for snacking anyway.
Yeah,
Where does the protein come from?
it was
The
casein and milk.
protein blend
casein.
is
Milk protein.
casein and whey protein concentrate.
Okay.
Which that's kind of a rogue area too. Depending upon the quality of sourcing of the whey and the casein. There's a lot of people that have casein sensitivities.
And yeah, and whey sensitivities, like depending on how it's processed, right? The stuff that Beachbody uses is processed in a way that it's better, like so you're not as sensitive, but
Right.
it's definitely like some of the cheaper ways can really cause havoc on your system.
Yeah, it's not something I think I'd eat all the time because I'm not a cereal person anyway, but I just thought it might be good for a snack here, a snack there. And I just figured, is this truly a yellow? Is it a red? Is it both? Like, what would it be?
Well, what were the other ingredient? Like, what was the ingredient that's making it cereal? That's like a grain or a flour of some sort.
There is none.
Okay. So also like you have
That's
stuff,
the other thing. It's
you
no
have stuff
it's
that's
no
not grain looking like it's gonna be cereal. You know what I mean? Like anytime you have something that starts out looking totally different and then they make it look like something else, that's just so much processing that they had to do to convert that into a food product. So
You've
like,
never seen Magic Spoon come up on Instagram? Instagram gets me every time.
no, I
Seriously,
haven't.
like every time. I'm like, oh, I'll get that. Let's try it. Oh, it's only
Right.
this. Okay, I'll give it a try.
It's expensive. I've looked at it.
I mean, all cereal is, if you ask me, but
Yeah. I think Alana has some suggestions for some cereals that she recommends. I can't remember what they are off the top of my head, but I'm sure they're on her Instagram somewhere. Do you know, Bev?
No, I was, for some reason, Cascadia Farms was coming into my
Oh,
head, but
yeah.
I just looked and they have, like their Cinnamon Toast Crunch one has maltodextrin in it. And I'm looking at their graham cracker, like their graham crunch, and it has cane sugar and dextrose and molasses. So while I enjoy the fact that it looks like it's all organic, which
It's got a picture of a farm. Shouldn't it
I
be?
will say,
it's called Cascadia Farm.
yeah, Cascadian Farms is, yeah, I mean, it is organic. And I will say that there is a difference. I know that there's a difference in how the body processes regular sugar versus organic sugar. I do believe that organic sugar doesn't have the chemicals that are in regular sugar, plus it's just processed in a different manner so that it holds more of a nutritional value. Like,
Well, does
And I
organic
know-
sugar still have some of the fiber or some of the nutritional value, or is that just
Yeah.
depend? Okay,
I think it does. Organic cane sugar.
right,
I think
yeah,
organic cane sugar does.
right.
And because like, I know that there's some in Shakeology, and
Yes.
that was one of the things that they said. And so my youngest was the one that had the sensitivity to all sugars and could not tolerate anything other than stevia at one point. But Shakeology never caused him any type of reaction whatsoever. He was always able to do the vegan formula. So
Good.
even when they made that switch and added the organic cane sugar, and they described it back then when they were doing that transition as to it having a nutritional value to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I know that there's other brands out there, but that was the one that came to my mind. So I immediately went and looked, and
I'll look and see if I can find something on her Instagram or in some of her information to see what cereals she would recommend. There's still going to be more processed than what Autumn is a little more of a purist, right? Like, it's about eating real food. It's not about having things that are processed or pre-made. So, but sometimes you want some cereal, and if you want to try to, give the best options possible, then we can look that up and see.
I know Marianne had given us a recipe of granola that she had made.
Yeah.
Just from scratch. And I thought that there was a granola recipe in Fixate maybe or something.
There is granola, and so you could put that in milk.
I want to say that even Aldi has one. It's not their Fit and Active. My gosh, just stay away from the Fit and Active. Like, it's I want to say it's like just their regular brand granola. It's very minimal ingredients, and I want to say that it is sweetened by maple syrup.
Mm.
And I mean, it's like 5 to 7 ingredients, if I can remember. I mean, it's been so long. It was back when I ate cereal. It was one of the ones that we would still get.
I love my quinoa granola, actually. It's very, very delicious. I don't eat it very often, but I put it with yogurt and usually add some Shakeology into it and mix it all up, and it's very, very delicious.
Well,
But
so
I don't remember what the brand is.
Does the East Coast have Aldi?
We do, yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
I feel like I need to travel somewhere so I can go to an Aldi. So
Yeah, 'cause
I feel
would
like
have
I'm
to
totally
travel
out
to
of the mix.
have it, yeah.
But then
And so Lily, it sounded like you were making that. You're not making that quinoa granola?
No, it's somewhere on my travels in the RV. I found it. I want to say I found it in Vermont, of all places. when
we
were
should
there
go
once.
back. We could go back on the nutrition calls and see where you brought it in as a label.
I know. I don't remember where it was. But yeah, I'll have to find the label and put it in the group. But again, I still have it from last fall because I eat it sparingly because I can't find it again. So
It did go bad?
no,
Wow.
no, it's good. So
Maybe you can find it on Amazon.
Maybe.
I've
Amazon has
tried.
everything.
Last time I tried it wasn't on there.
Yeah.
So, but I'll look
I
again.
have family in Vermont if you want to make a deal on the side.
Right?
Okay. Well, I want to go back to Vermont again, but yes.
That's too funny. All right. Who else has a label?
One, and I know Beverly's gonna kill me, but I'm going for it.
huh?
Why are we going to kill you?
Remember we talked about celery in the morning?
Oh yeah, celery juice. Yeah.
Okay. I have a bunch of boxes in my garage, so I couldn't find my juice extractor. So I went nuts went to the Whole Foods, Fresh Market, you name it, I went. This is what I found. Said lemon juice and organic celery, but it has like 270 sodium. Damn, okay. 11 grams of carbs. So is that all from the celery and juice?
Potentially, there's no sugar or no sweetener in it. That does that even taste good?
She likes celery, which is why she's trying to increase her hydrochloric acid in her stomach.
Okay, got it.
And that's, I mean, if you drink celery juice first thing in the morning, like an entire stalk.
This is where the medium guy comes in, right?
The medium guy.
Yeah, no, you know what I'm talking about? He talks about having the like celery juice every day.
I don't know.
It has 5 grams of sugar, but where does the sugar come from? If it's organic celery and
Is it sweet?
What are the
it's not
ingredients?
sweet. It's just organic celery and lemon
Lemon
juice.
juice.
That's it. I mean,
Well,
it
I
doesn't
mean,
taste bad.
Those are the only
I like it.
ingredients?
Yeah,
Maribel, those are the only
That seems
ingredients?
weird that celery would have that much sugar.
Yeah,
in it.
no.
that's
No,
what I
it's the
was like.
lemon. It's the lemon, because lemon, like celery wouldn't break a fast, but lemon, even a lemon slice would.
Really?
Oh, yeah. It's
Okay,
a
now I need to
lemon
look
would
up
have
the
the sugar?
nutritional
What
information.
brand is it, Maribel? I'm gonna look it up. What brand is it?
Suja, Suja, organic.
And you like the taste of it? It sounds awesome. That's why I asked.
Yeah, she likes the flavor of celery.
My daughter is like, that is gross. I'm like, hey,
Yeah, I'm with her.
I can take 2. I can drink one in the morning and I can like at night, if I'm craving something, I grab the bottle and it works. So,
Nice.
but I'm like, that triggered me because it said 5 grams of sugar. And I was like, where does the sugar come if it's just lemon and celery?
There has to be
Yeah.
a little.
Supposedly that's like a veggie, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that's all that's in it is organic celery juice and organic lemon juice. That's it, and it has 4 grams of sugar in it.
Yeah, so because it's not added sugars, it means that sugar is coming from, the celery and the lemon.
If I take one of these ones in a night, yeah, would that be considered a green?
No, because you don't have any fiber, so it's not a green. Yeah.
Darn it.
But if you juice
Unfortunately
your
not.
own, if you juice your own and eat the pulp, then it would be a green, right?
You would have to leave everything in it. You would not be able
Yeah,
to
I
extract
know, right?
any pulp. Yeah, so you'd just
I'll
be
take
like
that.
having a celery smoothie. Yeah.
Just eat the celery. Don't even bother
Just eat
juicing.
the celery. But that's the thing, right? You don't get the concentration of the
Yeah, you
benefit of
need-
the celery unless you've had like an entire, whatever tree of celery.
Right.
You need all of that to get the nutritional information. Otherwise you're eating, you can't really eat that much celery.
So Maribel, what is with the hydrochloric acid? What does that help you with?
It's your stomach acid.
Oh,
That's what HCl is. It's stomach acid.
it just helps
Often,
digest.
if you struggle with anything to do with like heartburn, indigestion, and they're putting you on a proton pump inhibitor, more than likely you don't have enough stomach acid.
Like a Prilosec or those kinds of things, because they're tamping down the acid
Mhm.
so that it doesn't.
But what's occurring is that you have food that's kind of fermenting in your stomach and causing the disruption and dysbiosis in your stomach, and you're lacking the stomach acid to actually digest your food properly. So if you increase the amount of stomach acid you have, then your food will digest better and decrease that dysbiosis a bit.
So do you feel a difference, Maribel, when you drink
I
it?
have. I've been taking the enzymes that I talked with Beverly, and I take them like once every 20 minutes before I eat, or if I'm eating like before I eat, I'll have the enzymes. And like in the morning, this is my I take meds I have IBS-C, So with those meds, instead of drinking water, I take one of this. And it has helped. I mean, for the past 2 weeks, I've been a little bloated, but not as bad as how I used to be. And it has worked a lot. So thank you, Beverly.
You're welcome. I'm glad it's helping. Yeah. And eventually, hopefully you won't have to continue to drink the celery juice at all times. I mean, you know, once you get back into a good rhythm and your gut is happier, then ideally your body will begin to start producing that amount regularly. Like I don't take it anymore. Like I don't take my HCl anymore. But I was taking it like for a couple years with
Yeah,
everything.
I see the difference. Sometimes there's days that I don't need it, so I'll take it one day yes, one day no, rotate it. But so far so good. So yes.
I don't understand what it's doing. Can you explain it, Beverly? When she takes that, what is it actually doing? What's the
It
problem?
helps her body produce stomach acid.
Okay. So
So
what
that
are you,
her
what is
food
she
digests.
feeling that's different?
Her food is digesting.
I have irritable bowel syndrome.
Okay.
So my stomach, irritable bowel.
Irritable.
My, seriously.
Means it's inconsistent. And people digest food as the same way as other
I
people.
have a 14-year-old daughter.
Right? The 14-year-olds already know everything. I've got
And
one here.
sometimes-
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Sometimes those acids
All right,
are
ladies,
good, but
I have to
sometimes
jump
they're
off.
not.
All
I'll
right,
see you
Bev,
later,
thanks
okay?
Thanks, Beverly.
Good to see you.
Bye.
Right, so
Hi.
Maribel, you said you have IBS, and what does this do for it?
It helps my gut, so I can it does for me it doesn't get I don't get bloated, and it helps digest the food.
Oh, okay.
Since I take medication, and it's really strong what they're having me. This has improved me because I didn't know I needed some enzymes and I needed some like more, I guess, celery. The celery has some kind of fiber and everything that has helped me get better.
I've heard that on other things, that celery juice, and it needs to be concentrated. It can't just be like eating, you know, a couple stalks of
Mhm.
celery. It
Oh,
needs
so
Yeah,
it's not
because when
just
she
sugar.
said to drink it like that, I was like, okay, I love celery, but
Perfect.
I couldn't find my juicer, and I'm like, I have to dig for something in the meantime. And this is what I found. I bought like for 2 weeks, so I'm still stuck upon this. But I was like, let me ask if this is good enough for right now until I find that juicer.
Yeah, well, and it sounds like it's a good option because they're not adding sugar, right? And that's really important. You just don't want to take something that's going to add sugar in. Sugar generally feeds the bacteria you don't want in your gut. So, yeah, and you know, at a 45 calories, if you don't count it as a container, it's not the end of the world either. So, you know, it's not like it should disrupt a lot. And if you're feeling better, then, you know, I would work that out with your GI specialist and how they feel about things. But yeah. Sounds like a good option.
I've done it before too, but I actually bought the celery and made it myself, and it ended up being more of a I guess an expensive.
Yeah, I've heard. I've heard.
It became very expensive. And I did it because similar to what Mary Bell's talking about for bloating. And it was just for me, it was a short-term solution, kind of like a Band-Aid, because as soon as I stopped it didn't resolve whatever was going on with my body. So yeah, I just went to the bathroom all the time. Yeah, all the time. So,
Oh boy. That's
yeah.
That sounds horrible.
right. You had to drink the celery juice and you're going to the bathroom all the time. I'm out.
I got used to the taste. It wasn't that bad. You just kind of downed it. But yeah, at the time, my ex-husband was like, "What are you doing?" I don't know. It's supposed to help. So yeah, I think I lasted maybe a couple of months doing it. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, do we have any other labels?
I have a question for you about the pumpkin. How
Yeah.
much, you said on the nutrition, on the meal prep call, that if I thought I said half a cup was a green, but is it less than that? Is a fourth of a cup?
You
Is it
know,
green?
so it was interesting. I just saw in a group too, someone posted a picture of a can of pumpkin and a half a cup was 45 calories. So to me, that still seems like it'd be in the range of a green. But then someone said, when you're using pumpkin puree, it's still considered a fruit versus chunked pumpkin is considered the green. So I don't know that it's all that clear. But here's what's funny is, so the next day I had that half a cup of pumpkin left over from our muffins, which that's the first time I think I've eaten all the muffins. Like those things were delicious. Usually like I pawn them off on somebody.
I still have them to make, so I really
they're
need
so
to.
good. They're so
They're
good.
delicious.
So good.
I have all the ingredients, so I gotta do it.
And so I took that half a cup of pumpkin and I put it with my vanilla Shakeology and it was like pudding. I'm like, what happened? I'm like, this isn't right. So anyway, yeah, I would use less in your Shakeology. So it doesn't come out like, I mean, literally I was eating it with a spoon. Like it
Oh,
was,
it's like a dessert then. Pudding.
yes, it wasn't my
You
favorite.
could do a frowo that way, right?
You
A
could
pumpkin
add some
frowo.
xanthan gum or whatever and make it like a frosty. Yeah, no, I don't know. It wasn't my fave. I think I'd do a little less pumpkin next time and I don't know, maybe something else. Cause I think I did it with cauliflower rice too. So
I was just curious because there's a recipe on the blog for pumpkin pie smoothie. And but it counts the half a cup of pumpkin puree as a half a purple.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of where things are at. It's like if it's pureed, then it's considered in a purple or an FFC as a fruit.
Yeah.
And then if it's cubed, then it's considered a green.
Wow.
So I don't know what magically happens to the pureed version. I think it's just
right.
calorically dense.
Yeah.
And that's why they're doing it that way. That's how it'll fit best in the container system. So sorry.
Not that you can buy pumpkin right now anyways.
Oh my
'cause I
gosh,
just
yeah, it was
tried at
really
this
hard.
store and there's no.
I had to have some lady show me where it was. It was down the baking aisle because I'm sitting in the vegetables.
We don't have any in the 3 stores that I went to in Seattle. There's no pumpkin at
Right,
all.
you have to check Amazon, see if or Costco might start getting it in soon.
Wait till November. It'll be in the
I
store.
know. I want pumpkin muffins now though.
Oh.
Yeah, I know. I want to make them again too. Those
We have them already in Arkansas.
and I
That's
think
weird.
too, like nutmeg with some cinnamon in it this time. Maybe even just skip the raspberries. It was it's so good.
Yeah. So I have these ones again. Oop.
Oh,
sorry. Sweet
You
potato
can't see it.
was really good. I
Oh,
had
the
sweet
sandwich
potato.
thins?
Yes.
What'd you say, Kim?
What did you say, Kim?
Oh, I said, sorry, the sweet potato, the mashed sweet potato was delicious.
It was good too.
Yeah, and all I did was microwave it for like 7 minutes and then smash it up and put it in like one
Ooh,
potato with 1 cup. It was awesome.
Maybe I'll try that way this time and see how it goes.
I almost bought a canned sweet potato, but they were all sweetened, and I was like, ah.
Yeah,
I would have
they're
rather
like-
had the sweet potato.
It's hard to find unsweetened canned sweet potatoes.
Yeah, well,
It's like hard.
it's canned. Who buys that anyway? But but I was like, ooh, no, it's sweetened.
Can you remind me what the containers are on these? I didn't get a chance to look it up. Do you remember?
We decided there was part of a green in there because it was actually whole cauliflower. Like it still had the fiber
Yes.
and it was what's the protein?
So it has fresh cauliflower, whole cage free liquid eggs. Let's see, Parmesan cheese, skim milk, cheese culture, salt, enzymes, and nutritional yeast. So
All right.
two rounds are 100 calories, and it's 5 grams of fat. Carbs are 3 grams, dietary fiber is 1 gram, 1 gram of sugar, and 9 grams of protein.
Yeah. So gosh,
I
you're
know.
probably like a half a red or a quarter. Because I don't know if you'd have a full egg per thin or per 2 thins. Because you're somewhere like, it's like you need a teaspoon and a green, and maybe it's like a half a green, a teaspoon, and like a half a red or something.
Okay, yeah, that's kind
That
of
would
what I
probably
thought.
add up to about the right amount of calories.
Too much
Yeah.
figuring.
It is a lot of, that's what's so hard about this.
That's why we come to
proprietary
Deanna.
system, right? Because it's not like Autumn tells you how she figures it out. So it's a lot of guessing when you're trying to take things that are already done and piece them in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is, technically, is it containerized? I don't know. I don't know if she'd be like, no, this is too processed or whatever to be containerized because you didn't make it from scratch. I don't know. Sometimes that's the answer. And sometimes you kind of just make your best guess and go with
I
it.
just make my own rules. I'm gonna make it fit in my containers.
Right.
There you go.
Yeah. And if it's working for you, then great, right? You just try to make the best selection you can. You try to get the most nutritious food you can, the best you can do. And at the end of the day, you kind of gotta, let it be.
Well,
Yeah,
I
I mean,
figured,
that's-
so I used these and made grilled cheese,
Oh,
grilled turkey and pickled cheese. And so I used these instead of a bun or bread, and it was delicious. And so I figured it would be better for me than, a slice of bread would be, depending on what kind of bread you're having, but less calories if I was worrying about that. But I was more.
You're probably actually
interested in-
about the same calories because you can get an English muffin for 100 calories.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I enjoyed it. It was good protein source for me. And since cauliflower was the first ingredient, I figured it was better than a piece of whole wheat toast. So
Mm. Sounds good.
those are my questions.
All right.
I have hi Deanna.
Hi,
See you for
Jackie.
the
How
first
are
time.
you?
Good.
Good to see you.
I know, right? For the first time. But kind of
Welcome.
wild. Maybe. But I do have a label, and it's something I purchased before I started the program. But have you ever seen Extreme Wellness high fiber tortillas?
I don't think so. No. But we
Oh,
love to
okay.
talk about wraps and tortillas on this call. I think we
And
have
it's-
covered almost every brand.
Well, this one, it's probably not like the best, per se. I guess if you're watching carbs, but because it has like modified wheat starch, it starts off with water, but it has like 80 calories and 2 grams of fat. It has 24 carbs and I think this is like one of the larger ones. 24 carbs, but it has 17 grams of dietary fiber.
Wow.
A lot.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's a lot.
Yeah, so it works well. I got them because I was doing the other one. What is it? The
To be
other
my
plan?
favorite?
Yes.
Yeah.
And it really obviously it fit into the fiber carb ratio.
Fiber-filled carbs. Yep.
Mhm. And so it has 8 grams of protein. So yeah, so I was wondering, I was like, well, I think I had one left. And
Yeah.
so I was like, where would that fit? I was like, I don't know if it's just too much of, I don't know.
Well, so kind of from what I've gathered in the Portion Fix group is that like the tortilla, like when you're looking at a tortilla, they want what's the word I'm looking for? Like the flour or carb content to be that first ingredient, right? So whole
Yes.
wheat, whatever
Right.
whole wheat grain is making up the tortilla.
That's what I figured. Yeah.
Yeah. And so because other than that, it's going to have substitutes and more processing in it.
Mhm.
I would, it's not like one of those situations where I'd be like, don't finish it.
Right.
But you want to just buy closest to whole foods as possible. So,
Right.
though I think the last ones I got were Mission tortillas, and
Okay.
they're like 110 calories, but the first ingredient is whole wheat flour.
Okay.
And you just want to look kind of what oils they're using, and that they're not adding sugar,
Okay.
that the fiber content is still good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then just kind of go from there.
Cool.
Because sometimes on the like the low carb wraps, I think where
Mhm.
people kind of get off a little bit too is like maybe it's 60 calories, so they think they can have two, but still in portion picks, you would still just have one. Because
Yes.
basically her rule is a 6-inch tortilla is one yellow.
Yeah,
No matter kind of what sums up the calorie count for it, it's one
Right.
yellow. So
Mhm. yeah.
The
Yeah.
12-inch one, you got to cut in half.
the what? The 12 you got to cut in half.
12-inch one, you have to cut in half, and then it's
Yeah.
like, it's so little.
But you get 2 corn tortillas. So
Yeah, that's what I've been eating most.
Yeah, right.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think that's where I fall short with my containers is that type of thing where I think they're all modified. So they're so like less calories, less this, less that. And I'm forgetting that whole, don't forget the all natural part of things, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You're just trying to get more in, figure it out, cheat the system.
Yeah, I mean,
Well,
you'll be more
true.
full eating more whole foods.
Mm-hmm.
So you're actually doing yourself a service if feeling full is what you want, right? Like if you're a person that likes to not feel hungry during the day. Like I'm a person who like, I don't know why, but some reason I'm like, avoid any kind of hunger. Like I always have something with me. I'm like, what if I'm at this place and I don't have food? What am I going to do?
I pack all the food.
So,
All the food in the purse.
the more real food you're eating, the more you're getting the water content, the fiber content, and the nutritional value. So your body's satiated, from
Mhm.
having the nutrition it's looking for. It's not, when you have a bag of chips, it's still looking for something else because you didn't actually satisfy anything. You get that water content, so you're staying hydrated, and you get the fiber, so it helps move everything through.
Mm-hmm.
So, and keep you full longer.
Great
But
point.
yeah,
I did have another. Oh,
I
I'm
think,
sorry, go
sorry,
ahead.
I was just gonna say one more thing. I think there's a lot of diet talk, right? And our food system is so diet centered about
Mhm.
like having low fat, low carb, low calories, or whatever diet it's focusing on, that it skips the idea of just eating real food.
Real foods, yeah.
It's pushing.
So I have a question.
an
Oh, go
agenda.
ahead. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah, no, go ahead.
So I had this question. So for like when the teaspoons, can we use the oil for like, I know that it says air pop popcorn, but can we use the oil or teaspoons to pop popcorn? I mean,
Yeah,
just
if you
like
have
on
a
the stove?
teaspoon left, you can totally use that. I like to do popcorn with coconut oil.
That's what I love doing
Yeah.
too. Okay.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So yeah, your teaspoons are kind of just for making your food, having some peanut butter, it's just integrated into your day. So like if you're sauteing vegetables and you put a little oil in there, then that would be your teaspoon.
Mhm.
So yeah, but if you have some extra, and you can totally do that with your popcorn.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. All right, you guys. Well, gosh, we're already 6 o'clock.
Mhm.
So I'm
9.
gonna look for some cereals,
Mhm.
and I'll post that below the recording. That way they're all kind of in the same place. And yeah, if anybody has anything they want to talk about for next week, I'm always open for ideas or things you want to talk more about, learn more about, and we can go from there. I'll take a picture. Even though half of us are off, right?
Only
All right.
2 are gone.
We're only missing 2? I thought we had, I think
Because
maybe
there was 10 before.
Oh, okay. All right, everybody.
A wild woman.
You ready?
A wild
You ready,
woman.
Marcy? Do you want a mirror?
Yeah, hold on.
All right, here we go. Cheese. All right, you guys. Well, have a good night, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right. Do the
Thanks,
same.
Anna.
All right, we'll see you later.
Bye.
Right.
No.